Hello friends, welcome back to Frontier Patriot for another awesome, super duper awesome, cool, tasty chew and chat.
That's right, verified, certified, legit, bona fide, this is awesome.
Yes, we have vegetable soup.
Vegetable soup, okay, you might be thinking, that is lame. Where is the meat? I don't care, this vegetable soup is amazing, and it was published in a recipe in 1830. This is almost a 200-year-old recipe for vegetable soup. It comes from the book The Cook's Dictionary and Housekeeper's Directory. Originally published in 1830 in London, the book was also sold in the United States.
Nice. Now I will say, this does not look like my mother's vegetable soup.
There's no noodles in it.
She don't put noodles, she puts beef in hers. But so is it technically vegetable soup still yet? I don't think so. But
Yeah, it's not.
so I've not tried this. You tried this, and you say it doesn't even need the meat.
It doesn't need the meat. Now, I will say, vegetarianism wasn't super common in this time period. There were some vegetarians, but to find true, pure vegetarian dishes is very hard because back then, vegetarian could have meant mashed potatoes that had beef drippings in it. This would have been considered vegetarian in 1830, but it has the water from boiled beef in it.
In most cases, vegetarian back then was probably because they couldn't afford the meat, or if they had a health issue with it. It wasn't necessarily, oh, I want to be a vegetarian.
Yeah, it was often prescribed as a diet for people whose stomachs could not digest meat properly. So there were meat-free dishes, but it's very hard to find a purely meat-free entree.
And to be frugal, Ben Franklin even became a vegetarian for a while. It was cheaper. You didn't have to buy the meat.
That's interesting.
Yes.
So let me serve you up.
Please do.
Now, something about the Cook's Dictionary and Housekeeper's Directory. It is the first known cookbook where the recipes are listed in alphabetical order.
Well, that's always helpful. Alphabetical order.
This is gonna take a while. The way that I'm serving this up, I apologize.
We need a bigger ladle.
We need a bigger ladle. I do actually have a bigger ladle, but it's so big.
It's too big.
It's too big for this.
We need a medium-sized ladle.
We need something in between. I don't got nothing.
I'll start with that. I might not like it.
Okay, start with that. Here's your spoon.
Thank you. We have a lot to talk about today, guys. Genius.
Careful. Careful. Give me your rag. Run. Can you wipe the bottom? Can you wipe the
bowl?
Run. Wipe the bottom. Oh, you want me to give you more?
Yes, please.
Okay. I see what you're trying to do.
You may as well give me all of it. Because you know I'm going to eat it.
One last carrot.
Thank you.
I still need the rag, though. Thank you. Empty already.
Well, let me say grace and we'll get down to business.
This is pewter.
The business here on Frontier Patriot is eating and reviewing these dishes that you can see Justine make over on our main channel. That's Early American over there. We cook it.
And here we eat it.
Here we eat it.
Let's get to it.
Dear Lord, thank you for this very beautiful day. It is a cool 72, 73 about degrees outside. It's overcast. It's very nice. We're very glad to have all of our friends and watching us here this evening with us. We hope that they're all having a fantastic week and they have a good rest of the week and everybody stays healthy and safe and let us eat. Amen.
Thank you.
Here we go.
I was saying this is pewter, by the way.
That's not bad, actually.
Not bad? It's very buttery. There's like a film of butter over the top of it.
I can feel it. It's silky.
There's an entire stick of butter in this.
That's nice.
So, it's vegetarian, but you will still be able to do hard manual labor off of this soup.
Put some bread in there.
Oh.
It tastes like any other stew with a meat in it. I don't even miss the meat. And I'm only 2 bites in.
I'm sure that the water that was used to boil beef has something to do with it. But it's got so much natural flavor anyway that you don't really miss the beef. You're right.
That's right. You used a beef stock, right?
Yeah, you could call it a beef stock.
All right, now let's go in.
This is so buttery. It's like hard to eat it without it just slipping and sliding everywhere.
My bread has turned to like dumplings. Little pills of deliciousness. That's good.
That is good dunked in bread.
Now, we don't make that many soups here, and I'll be honest, we don't, because the way they used to do them is they'd have you strain the solids out, and you would throw it away. By the way we do things today, that seems kind of backwards. Why wouldn't you leave that in there? But there's a time and place for everything. They want smooth soups. Are there some soups that we have found that do have chunks in them? This one has some chunks in it.
Yeah, it's rare to find a soup from the early 1800s that actually has solids in it.
I wouldn't necessarily say they're wasting it, because it's going to get fed to
the livestock.
The pigs, the chickens will eat it. And just because it's old-timey, if you want to call it that, doesn't mean it's 1930s Depression era of frugalness.
We're literally 100 years before that.
Right. And so things get tossed out. So it's a completely different situation. So when you say, oh, well, they would have made something with those eggshells, they wouldn't. They would have thrown it out.
Oh, yeah, unless you were super, super, super poor, which the majority of Americans were not. There was a middle class.
But this cookbook wasn't for the poor.
This cookbook was not for the poor. No, it was not.
They don't cater to that. So in the instructions, throw it out. I mean, somebody might eat it too. Like, if you got a hungry husband that's been working all day, off camera, I actually ate the solids because I was like, I'm not letting them carrots go to the chickens. I'm going to eat them.
Feed them the chickens, the hogs, or to Ron.
Or to Ron.
Now, what is Ron saying? You might not know, unless you are a historic cook yourself, in the early 1800s, having solids in soup was, like,
not
bad. It wasn't fashionable. They would always strain the solids out of the soup, so they would make a beautiful stock.
It's too rustic.
It's too rustic. I think they would make a beautiful stock by boiling, like, beef and potatoes and carrots and for like 2 or 3 hours until you get the most beautiful, amazing, rich stock. But then you strain it. So almost all of the soups in this time period have no solids in them. Now, there's 2 reasons for that. The first reason is because, like Ron said, it was a fashionable phase that we went through where we did not like solids in our soup. But then reason number 2 is the receipts of the very, very, very poor were very rarely written down. So the receipts that I'm working from, a lot of the times, were intended more for middle class people. And because of that, middle class people could afford just to make a vegetable stock and then to throw away the boiled to mush vegetables.
Right.
I mean, even nowadays we do it. You're making a vegetable stock. You throw away the mushy, old, nasty vegetables you give them your chickens and stuff. There's nothing wrong with doing that.
Same with the meat. You,
like beef stock.
Like beef stock or chicken stock?
Yeah, you boil the
stewing
bones.
hens, you boil that whole entire old hen that you get, the stewing hen. You don't eat that thing. You toss it out after that.
Yeah, you just want the stock.
You feed it to your chickens, they'll eat it. I've seen it. Chickens will eat chicken.
Yep. So we do it today, but they really did it back then. And like Ron said, keep in mind that this time period, the 1830s, was not the American Great Depression at all.
That was different.
And in the United States, we actually were better off than in England in several ways. Even our height, on average, was taller because we had better nutrition over here.
It's the corn. They wouldn't eat it over there.
Yeah, they wouldn't eat the corn over there for a while. And
that's cattle food.
Yes. But yes, so that's why we don't make too many soups on this channel, because the few times we have, people will come and they say they would have never done that back then, even though the recipe at the end of the video literally says to strain out the solids.
You eventually just get tired of hearing, so you just kind of
get
give
tired.
Up.
Because people put like the mindset of the 1930s Great Depression on every era of American history, but that's not how it was for the majority of time. There was a middling class, and not everyone was poor.
You know why it was so bad, I think, in the Depression era? Is because by that time, people have already started to forget how things were done 200 years before that. And the population is way more, especially people that live in populated areas like cities. You can't grow a garden. I mean, the same applies today. If something happens in the city, like a few years ago, all over the country, things were closed up. People didn't have money, and the people in the city suffered more than the people in the rural areas. So I think even during the Depression, probably, yes, people in rural areas were probably broke and had no money, but they were better off because they were able to grow stuff. They still knew how to farm and everything, but the people in the cities were basically up a creek without a paddle.
Yeah, you have a good point there.
And then 200 years ago, there's not as much of a demand because the population isn't as high as it was in the 20th century. So I think that's why it just hit so hard, and everybody was just literally making anything out of everything. And then we think that applies to everything in history, but it doesn't.
No.
If you can follow my theory there. Man, I'm out of soup. You know what in the world? We got this big old cauldron over here, and we only end up with a half a bowl of soup each.
I'll bring it. But first, you want to review it?
Wait a minute, is there more?
There's a little more. There's a little bit more.
I thought that was it.
No, there's a little bit more.
But still, we cut this in half because it wanted you to use 6 whole onions, like 12 carrots, 2 sticks of butter, and we're like, that's a lot of soup. But it
all cooked down.
Yeah, the 4 hours, that got us. So after boiling for 4 hours, we end up with this.
Our lid was not 100% sealed airtight. There was a tiny little bit of steam coming off of it. But after 4 hours, that meant that half of the liquid went away.
Yeah.
Ron, you said I should have sealed it with dough.
Yeah, so I've seen references to where you put like just a dough around the lid. You put the lid down. It makes a gasket.
That's a really good idea.
But you can't really lift it up until you're done cooking, or else you'll break the seal.
You can't peek at it. Okay, I'm gonna pour.
I'm glad there's
a
more. This is really good.
Oh, that's your official review.
This gets a 10. There
wow.
it is. It's got a 10.
And it don't even have meat in it technically, but man, this is good. And you know, me personally, I don't need meat. I was actually a vegetarian and a pescatarian for many, many years of my life.
Not me.
So I don't really need meat to be happy. But even Ron says that he's
I have nothing against veggie. I love meat, but if it's a veggie dish, I'll eat it. I don't care. As long as it tastes good, right?
Right.
And this has the beef stock in it, so I think it's giving me just enough. But also, I've noticed, even when we're at our house and we're picking the herbs out of our kitchen garden there, whenever I get like some rosemary and thyme, it just takes me right to like beef stew or something. So with those herbs being in here and just a little bit of the beef stock, I don't miss the beef.
It's not quite as full as the first time around, but oh, why not even bother pouring it in here? I should have just poured it right in here.
Should have just gave me the whole pot.
So you're giving this a 10?
I'm giving this a 10. This is delicious. You guys got to make this. And this is, if you're on a budget, you don't have to buy the beef. Yes, there are cheap cuts of beef, but if you're really trying to save money,
just buy beef stock.
Just like, buy the beef stock.
In this day and age, 21st century, you can go to the store and buy a can of beef stock for $2 or $3.
Right, because beef is very expensive, and we know that.
We know that.
But this is great because the vegetables are cheap, and if you can grow them, then it's free then. But you've got to make this. It's so easy.
Got to make this.
Anybody can make it.
I would give this a...
You can even put in, since it says 4 hours, put it in your slow cooker or crock pot, whatever they call them these days.
I would give this a 9.
A 9? What's it missing?
I mean, 9 is still really good, okay? But I feel like it's a little too buttery.
Too much butter?
A little.
Never.
Just a little too buttery. But it's still really good. It's a 9.
It's kind of sweet, actually. I think the amount of carrots that's in it, and the celery.
Sweet onions too.
Oh yeah. Those were the sweet onions, yes. So
it's sweet.
It's got a sweetness to it.
It does. Yep, I would give it a 9. You would give it a 10.
It's so good.
This is a win.
It just needs to be maybe 30 degrees outside, working hard. You got it in your thermos nice and hot, and it's lunchtime, and you just crack that thing open and drink it. Oh.
It is September. As far as I'm concerned, it's fall. I don't care. And the temperature has thankfully gone down.
Yes, last week it was 95, 100 degrees or whatever, and we about died. We took us 3 days to film last week's videos, and today we've done it all,
and
one go.
I feel great.
I'm not even sweating.
I feel amazing. It's 80 degrees outside, which to some people might still be hot, but compared to how it's been, I feel so good right now. And
it's not even 80. It's like 73 or 4. It's so nice. I'm not even sweating.
I'm happy to be here.
Me too. And I'm happy you guys are here too with us.
Yes.
Which reminds me, couple weeks ago, we hit 100,000 here on Frontier Patriot. Quite the milestone.
Thank you.
And this has arrived. This is the plaque. We have shown 2 other plaques on this channel for Early American for the 100,000 and for the 1 million. And you might be remembering that and thinking, well, why is the box so small?
They did that now.
I feel like I got ripped off, man.
YouTube changed it.
They half-sized me. So our other ones are like this tall and about this wide.
Here's the knife. We haven't opened it yet.
And as of lately, they apparently have changed the style, so you get a little bitty plaque now.
Let's see what it looks like. But anyway, I'm just happy we reached 100,000. Nutritious and delicious.
Just cut. Okay. Let's see. Okay. There's nothing there.
Oh man, they really discounted us.
Wait a minute. Here we go.
Oh, there's a piece of paper.
Oh, that's Cardstar.
Oh, that's nice.
Do you remember your first subscriber? Yes, it was myself from my other private account. AKA Ron Rayfield.
Yeah. Thanks
Do you
for
remember
letting
your
me know.
100th? Yes, I do. Do you remember your 1,000th? Yes, I do. Do you remember your 100,000th? I'll be honest, I don't, because that's so many.
I remember.
But it was one of you.
I
So
remember.
thank you, whoever. Like, who was it? If it was one of you, comment and be like, yeah, I was the guy that clicked and then made it 100,000.
What do you win?
Yeah.
What do you win?
I'll think about it, but let me know
Think
who you
about
are
it.
and be truthful about it.
Oh.
I'll go back and look because it'll tell me how long you've been subscribed.
Oh.
I think. I don't know.
You win a bowl of soup.
You want not this because there ain't gonna be none left. All right, here we are. Ooh, what's this? Oh, keep fresh packet. Those things are toxic.
Oh. Oh, how
Here
nice.
is the little bitty plaque.
It says Frontier Patriot on it. Presented to Frontier Patriot for passing 100,000 subscribers.
I'm hoping it's not doing a glare.
Yeah, can you
to them.
see the camera
Yeah.
in the mirror? It's mirror. Oh, can I feel how heavy it is?
Yep.
Oh, it is very light.
So it's half the size of the other
Yeah.
ones that we've gotten for
Oh,
Early American. So it's.
sorry, I just saw something really scary. I had to turn it away.
What are you
for
talking
some
about?
reason. There was a mirror.
Oh my gosh. Hey, thank you guys so much. I can't wait till we get our house done, and then in the office I can put these on the wall.
Awesome.
Lifetime achievements right here.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to you guys, and to you too.
Thank you. It's a team effort.
Now,
Teamwork.
yes,
Teamwork.
makes the dream work.
It makes a dream work.
That's right. Now you guys haven't seen Mish Mish in a while, and neither have we. So we bought this new tracking collar. It has GPS on it, satellite radio, and infrared apparently too.
Welcome to the 21st century.
Yeah.
We're jumping ahead now.
And so anyways, let me pull this map up here. Right now, Mish Mish appears to be down here in this field. I don't know what he's doing down there. It doesn't have a camera. I wish it had a camera on it because that would just make it the best thing.
That'd
But
be
we got
hilarious.
tired of trying to figure out where does he go.
Yeah.
There's about 3 acres here that the cabin is on.
Tell them what we do every single night.
Every single night, we call for him and we put him up here in the cabin. He lives in the cabin here.
Mm-hmm.
But during the daytime, he's roaming around doing his thing. And he'll come by my parents' house and he'll meow and want some lovin's on him. And then he'll go inside and he'll eat and lick his butt a couple times.
He'll
and
like
then,
poke his head, say hi to us for an hour or two, and then
Yeah.
he'll leave.
but if you feed him before 5 o'clock and then you let him go, you won't see him. He'll be out all night. But so that's a strategy. You gotta feed him in the morning or late at night when he's in the cabin here. You don't feed him at my parents' house before 5 o'clock because he'll eat and then he'll.
You guys are always asking us, "Where's Mish Mish? Where's Mish Mish?" Now we
I don't
know. Now we know
Well, now
where
we know.
he is.
Now we know.
He has a tracking collar on him now. It's absolutely hilarious. I cannot stop looking at it.
Because we'll see where he's at and we'll be like, let's just walk down there and spook him. He'll be like,
How'd you find
how'd
me?
you find me?
He goes 1.5 miles.
Yeah, it says how many steps or, how the distance he's went.
He goes up to 2 miles around every day.
That's a lot for a cat.
That is a lot for a cat. That's why he stays fit and healthy, I guess. But now we know where Mish Mish goes every day, but he does return every night. It's just some nights it's hard to find him.
And we're just curious where he went because there's a lot of skunks in this area. like every other 3 nights, there's a skunk that sprays somewhere, and we would prefer not to have to shave him because he got sprayed by a skunk.
Oh.
So we kind of want to keep an eye on him and make sure he's put up at night. But sometimes he's like a bad teenager. He doesn't come home.
He always comes home, but sometimes he has a curfew. His curfew is about
dark.
It's 8 o'clock usually, dark. And sometimes he's a bad boy. Like once a month, he's a bad boy, and because I think he's hanging out with the neighbor's cats, and he doesn't come until 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
Well, we're asleep.
You hear him crying at the window.
He always comes though, but we're asleep by then, so we're not awake to listen to him. We don't put him up, but we go out in the morning and he's just sitting in front of the door waiting for us. Like he knows he was bad.
Oh yeah.
He knows he came in past curfew. But 9 times out of 10, he does come. He's like a dog. He comes when we call him.
He knows how to sit. He knows what stay means, and he comes to me when I whistle to him. But if he's so far away, or if he's with one of his friends, I've walked up to him when he's engaged with one of his friends, he will ignore me. Yeah. I feel so hurt. Yep. Now I know what parents feel like whenever they go to school to pick up their kids or whatever, and the kids don't say anything to the parent because they're trying to be cool in front of their friends. Well, that's what MishMish does to me. It's like, dude.
When he's in front of his friends.
So I go manhandle him and then bring him up here.
That's right. But we have a very strict routine with MishMish where every night we tuck him into bed. And I don't want him out at night. It makes me very nervous. I get worried about coyotes and things like that. But now we have a tracking collar on him. Yeah. So.
Well, we have a couple things here to talk about in my notes. Last week we had sores in the mouth, and the lysine that you guys recommended worked instantly, didn't it? It
worked instantly. Okay, so going back, you really have to watch the last video to understand what I'm talking about. But my immune system is just trash. It's hot trash. It's a dumpster fire, and so I get like these fever blisters inside of my mouth.
On the roof.
On the roof of my mouth. And the doctor said it's because my immune system is acting up all weird. And a lot of you guys were saying take Lysine. I'm probably not saying that right. I apologize. Lysine supplements. They're over the counter. We literally went to Walmart and picked them up. Anyone can get them. I don't know if it's a vitamin or supplement. I don't think it's a mineral. Whatever it is, it's in our food. So it's just a supplement. And I'd taken 1,000 milligrams. I took like 5 days ago. I took a pill of it, and I kid you not, it's so weird. An hour after I took that pill, I felt like I could do jumping jacks. I felt weird, like I had caffeine or something, and I felt like my body was healing. And sure enough, the next morning, I woke up and I had a whole bunch of sores in my mouth for the last week, and the sores were maybe 80% gone. That's crazy.
That's like magic.
That's magic. What does anyone out there know why it works so well? But I've never actually in my life taken a supplement and felt better.
Really?
Have you ever?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, because like they push all these pills on you these days. They're like, you gotta take vitamin C, you gotta take vitamin D, you gotta take a multivitamin, fish oil. You take it and you take it for years and you feel exactly the same. You stop taking it. It's like, why not even? I feel exactly the same. What's the point? This one, I took it, and it's like an hour later, we were driving, and I was telling Ron, this is the weirdest feeling, Ron. I feel like I just had the flu or something, and it just went away.
So hopefully that's the secret, but you're going to start taking it every couple of days to keep up on it, though.
Yeah, every couple of days. Now, back like 6 months ago when I had the same problem, I did take the Lysine. I only took it once. But it gave me acne really bad, so I stopped.
I see.
But this time I'm really gonna stick to it because that feeling that I had was absolutely bizarre, and I'm a believer now in whatever in the world that stuff is. Obviously, it's only for my particular issue that I have, but to boost my immune system, I'm also trying to consume more elderberry products. And your uncle and his wife were kind enough to give us some of their elderberry harvest, and I'm going to make elderberry syrup for you guys here. My immune system has not been very good lately. I keep getting sick over and over and over again, and these mysterious sores I keep getting on the roof of my mouth are apparently caused by my immune system being out of whack. I've been taking the Lysine, hope I'm saying that right, supplements, and it has actually helped amazingly. I mean, After taking it 20 minutes later, I felt like physically there was something different about me. It was so weird. But there's another way to boost your immune system that I keep on hearing about. And Ron's uncle and his wife, who are the parents of the river rats in our drama series, Ron's cousins, we absolutely love them. But they kindly gave me a do-it-yourself elderberry syrup kit. They picked the elderberries, they dried it, and they put spices in it already in this bag with instructions on how I can make my own elderberry syrup at home. So I'm going to try it out. I have never done this before. I've only bought elderberry syrup. And I love elderberries. So what I'm supposed to do according to the instructions is I have to boil 3 cups of water, which I have measured out already in this mason jar, which is where I'm going to store the stuff when I'm done. I'm going to cook it over the fire. So there's 3 cups of water. And then I just have to empty out this packet, which has cinnamon, clove, and a little bit of ginger. And this is all 100% dried elderberries that they picked themselves. Yeah, I see all the spices in there. It smells very, very good. Oh, that cinnamon got in my nose though. Here, let me get a spoon. Oh, it already changed the water color. Wow. The instructions say that all I have to do now is just bring this to a simmer, and I'm supposed to simmer it until it's reduced, till it becomes a syrup, which should take about 40 to 45 minutes. That is easy, easy peasy. I really appreciate them giving this to me, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this over the fire and get that going. Been simmering for about an hour. I hope I didn't overdo it, but I wanted it to be really, really thick. This is my first time making this. Okay, so now you're gonna pour it through a strainer to get the solid elderberries out. It looks like caviar. Okay. Put that here. See what I mean when I say it looks like caviar? Wow, that is a beautiful, beautiful deep purple. So now I have to add a sweetener to this. And at first I had to reread the instructions 2 or 3 times because it says to add an entire cup of honey. That is a lot of sugar. But I guess that this is just the kind of thing that needs a lot of sweetener for it to be palatable. And it also will help to thicken it up. So I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm going to pour a cup of raw honey into this, which I think is about half of this jar. Are we there yet? A little more. A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down anyway. Okay, we're there. And before I try this, I am of course going to let it completely cool, and I imagine that that'll also help it to thicken up some. Well, here we are. This beautiful dark colored purple liquid.
Yeah, shake it up.
Yeah, you got it. It looks like cranberry juice, maybe, or grape.
It's thick though.
Grape juice.
This has got some weight to it.
It does have some weight.
What is in that? Liquid lead?
There's half a cup of honey in it. Yeah, lead would really help my immune system. Yeah, jeez. I'm a little nervous about the honey. Half a cup is a little crazy.
I thought it was a whole cup.
No. Oh no, it was a whole cup. Oh my, that's even worse.
I was the camera guy, so
I forgot already. It was. You're right. It was a whole cup of honey in here. Oh man. Okay, but you know what? I'm not going down alone. We're both gonna try this thing.
Well, hopefully we don't go down. It's supposed to bring you up.
Yeah, we're
Just
not.
don't spill it everywhere. We'll have ants in here again.
We're not going up alone.
It's got a nice color. It looks like Robitussin.
Oh man.
You gave yourself more.
I did. I didn't mean to do
you
that.
You need it though.
I do. Okay, so I'm supposed to take at least this much of it every day to boost my immune system, which has been hot trash.
Let's see here.
What's it smell like?
It kind of smells like medicine, I'm not gonna lie.
I'm nervous.
It's got a musk kind of smell, but mixed with berries, mixed with, I don't know, it smells medicine-y.
I'm so happy I'm an adult now because I don't have to take liquid medicine anymore like I did when I was 8 years old.
Hey, that's my favorite.
Oh, I can't stand the liquid cough syrups.
Cough syrup don't bother me.
Okay.
Okay,
here we go.
Here we go.
We do like elderberry jam.
Chink. Ugh. Tastes like I had jam.
Mixed with cough syrup.
And I took a tablespoon of Robitussin and there's something else. And honey. I taste honey.
Are you surprised?
Alright, sling it back. Woo!
Woo! Woo! I feel great!
Yeah, congratulations. Now you got diabetes. You got a nice immune system, but now you got diabetes. That's so sweet.
Yeah, there is quite a lot of honey in there. Okay,
You might want to dilute that by 50% with
might
water.
want to put some water. That's some strong stuff, but it is a syrup. It's supposed to be medicine. You don't dilute medicine.
It's some kind of syrup. I hope it works.
I hope it works too. I'm going to take a dash of that every single day until this thing is empty, which I guess will take me a couple weeks. And we'll see if I'm still alive at the end of this, but...
That was interesting.
American elderberry. There's European elderberry, and there's American elderberry, and so American elderberry, I believe, is native to the Americas, hence the name.
I would hope so.
People go crazy picking this stuff around here.
It's hard to pick because it's got so many little berries, so it's best...
You just cut off. You cut
right,
it off,
yeah, don't try to pick it berry by berry. Just cut the whole cluster off.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. It's a very beautiful
That's something I would do. I'd be out there
bush.
just like...
Oh, yeah, definitely don't do that. Have you guys ever tried elderberry syrup? Has it actually worked for you? Has it helped your immune system? Let us know, please.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it works, though.
I hope so, too.
I hope so, too. Because this has been going on for a couple of years. The sores have only been going on for about 6 months, but a couple of years now, my immune system has just been really, really bad. Like, I used to get sick only once every 2 years. I think that's about normal. Now I get sick, like...
Every 6 months or so. You felt like you were coming down with something last week.
This year, but last year was really bad. Last year, I was sick literally every other month.
Well, when you're sick, you're usually sick for
a long time.
3 weeks at a time.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When I get sick for like almost a month at a time.
Ain't my fault. Don't blame me.
No,
not you. I'm telling them. Don't blame me for it.
No, it's not. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's just the way that God made me. But I'm trying to figure it out how to heal myself.
Thankfully, I have the immune system and health of a horse.
How often do you get sick?
Like head cold stuff, maybe once a year. But like throwing up, I haven't thrown up since I was like 8.
Like fever, the flu, that kind of sick. You got a cold.
Cold once a year, flu maybe once every, I don't know, 8 years, and that's just like a severe cold. The bottom and top end stuff don't happen anymore. Like thankfully, that was the worst part when I was little. I'd just scream at night like, I'm gonna get sick, and then blah. Everybody's done the dry heaving at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's horrible.
You thought that was bad? What about your parents? Your parents gotta clean that up.
Yeah, I got yelled at. Why don't you go to the bathroom and do it? I'm a little kid. But anyways.
Rich Rayfield, are you watching right now? Do you do that? That's his dad.
But
I've known you for over 3 years.
I've trained myself to not throw up.
In the 3+ years that I've known you, you've only gotten really sick like once or
The first
twice?
winter that we were together, yeah. I'm not really sure what was the result of that, but that's when we filmed the sick video here in the cabin.
Cinnamon
and
sticks.
I was on the uppity part of it until I laid on the floor to pretend like I was dying. And then the next day I relapsed and I really felt like I was dying. Because it was cold outside. It was probably in the 20s.
That floor was very cold.
The floor was very cold. We even put down a piece of foam for comfortability.
Which got cold,
Which
too.
got cold. Apparently, foam attracts to cold.
Foam is horrible, man.
Don't do it.
It's wet and cold.
Like, if you're gonna get into reenacting, you think, oh, I'm gonna bring this oh-so-soft foam mattress topper to sleep on, and if it's cold, don't do it.
You will
freeze.
Regret it.
You'll freeze.
You're speaking from experience, because you did that once, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, I froze.
Yeah,
you want it to be something as solid as possible. So lay down a bunch of blankets if you got to, but foam, they're tiny little holes, but they're those little cold pockets.
Yeah, that's true. They hold the cold air and moisture and stuff.
Yes.
So anyway, I hope that works. And eating vegetable soup probably helps.
Oh yeah, soup
as
always
well.
helps.
It almost feels like everything we've made today has to do with being sick. I'm not sick, but you know, why not? Let's eat it anyway.
Well, are you ready for this week's weird history topic?
I am ready for this week's weirdest history fact. Go! Woo!
No more elderberry syrup for you. Okay, so I did some digging. I was curious. Why are ships named after women in most cases? So, like the USS Constitution, that's not named after a woman,
Or
obviously.
anybody.
But that's a military ship. But, hey, there he is. But think about it.
Mish Mish!
Ships are mostly named after women.
Come here, Mish Mish!
Come here,
Come here, Mish Mish!
Come on.
He takes his sweet time.
He's interrupting. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, we did take his tracking collar off to charge it about 30 minutes ago. So it doesn't have a collar on right
Here,
now.
say hello.
That is the downside of these tracking collars. We have to charge it every single day.
So we mostly put it on them in the afternoon, that way so we can find them at night. But
Right.
back to the weird history topic. Why are ships named after women?
Ah.
The first written reference to a ship being named after a woman is in the late 1300s. Women were good luck, but they were bad luck to have them on the ships. I know it doesn't make sense, but I thought about it. It's like, okay, you got a bunch of ruffian sailor dudes on here, and you got one woman. Well,
For months.
when you're at sea for months, some of the men that can't contain themselves get urges, and bad things happen, or they don't do their job because they're just gawking at the woman the whole time. So that's one of the main reasons why they never brought women on ships. But they were crazy and thought that women could control the sea, so they would name the ships after a woman.
Wow, no one told me I had this power.
The analogy is women have wombs, and they thought the ship was like a womb or a vessel to where the men were inside of.
Oh,
It gets weird.
My
So I won't
goodness.
get graphic with it, but
Wow, that's some primitive thinking.
that's their primitive analogy.
So because we have wombs, we can control the ocean?
But there's more. You can only control the ocean if you have no shirt on. Actually, anything on.
Oh man, totally wrote this rule.
Which is the other thing on most ships. Now, I don't mean today. I'm sure there's some, but I'm talking about...
The old wooden ships.
Yes, wooden ships have a naked woman on the front, carved on the front. There's a name for that, but I forget what it's called.
Huh.
They think that tames the sea. The sea will be tame if it can see the woman's...
See a bosom.
A bosom, yeah. So, if you're a woman and you're on ship and something bad is happening...
Take your shirt off.
Like a storm, they expect you to strip down and tell the ocean to shove it.
What? That's great advice. Okay, ladies out there, if you are out at sea and you find yourself in a predicament where you are drowning,
He's gone.
take some 1300s advice and remove your shirt, New Orleans style.
Hey, this still applies to 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th century.
Wow.
So this is pre-steam era stuff.
Okay,
This is sailing.
Ship.
This is sailing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's there's a whole rabbit hole, and there's inappropriate ones that you can look at why with the stuff, but I just thought it was strange that they think it's bad luck to have a woman on ship, but yet they named the ship after a woman, and they have a naked carved woman on the front of the ship. But there was an account I seen from 1740s off the coast of Virginia. There was a storm that happened, and this woman would not get naked and controlled the ocean, and they actually ended up claiming that the woman was a witch and caused the storm.
What'd they do to her?
I don't know.
Did they throw her overboard?
I couldn't find out. It's really hard to track these mysteries down. I did find it's in a paper, like newspaper,
Yeah.
and it was just like a headline. So woman claimed to be, or woman accused of being a witch to Bad Storm off the coast of Virginia.
Because she didn't flash her bosom on a ship in a
Yep.
storm?
Yep.
This is so weird. This is absolutely bizarre.
It's stupid, is what it's stupid.
It's very, very stupid.
There's a lot of things that people back then were way better at than what we are now, but some of their thinkings are just stupid.
They're just stupid. I mean, that really blows my mind. I mean, I thought when you said this, to be honest, I thought that maybe in the 1300s they thought this, but over time it just developed into folk art and developed into like
superstition,
sailing culture.
Folklore.
But they didn't literally believe that.
They believed in mermaids.
But they did literally believe it.
They thought mermaids were real.
Yes, they thought mermaid sirens of the sea were real.
Oh, yeah, the ones that fly are the sirens, right?
Sirens?
Maybe we'll do mermaids next week. Maybe I can find an account of somebody swears they've seen one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, they saw, like, sea creatures that they would say were very ugly mermaids, like manatees. You know what a manatee is?
Isn't that like a whale?
They have
or a
them,
dolphin?
they have them down in Florida, I think.
A manatee?
A manatee is
it's not coming to my mind.
It looks like a dolphin hippo.
A dolphin?
It does look like a dolphin hippo. They move very slow. And they have little propellers, if you could call them that, little wings.
Do they pop up out of the water vertically or something? And then people thought it was
that I don't know.
They thought it was a mermaid?
That I don't know, but a guy...
She ain't got no arms!
I thought it was in the 18th century. It could be 17th, but I think it's 18th, where the guy says that he saw a very ugly mermaid. And it turns out he was talking about a manatee. Man, that is an ugly mermaid. Man, that ain't nothing like they told me about.
Well, anyways, that's what I got for this week's weird history topic. Like I said, you can dive into it. There's a rabbit hole, of course, like anything. But I just thought it was strange that they named their ships after women, but yet they didn't want them on board, and they also had a naked carved lady on the front of their ships.
I mean, look at me. Look at us women. I'm cooking out of a cauldron. I have a black cat.
You're in the woods in a cabin.
I'm in the woods in a cabin.
These candles are lit.
I have a collection of brooms. Maybe I am bad luck. I don't know.
What'd you put in the soup?
Thank you for watching, guys. Take care. We love you. Until next week. Oh, hi.
Bye-bye.